This is a massive 90-watt ring light that can output over 500 nits of peak brightness. And even though it might seem overkill, I mean it's a 20-inch ring light, I think everyone should have one of these in 2020. What year is it? We're already past 1 month in 2023. When did that happen? Anyway, I'll start my New Year resolution from tomorrow. But even this gigantic light has an application which I'll tell you. Now, I've said this before. I prefer ring lights over regular flat lights because I feel like they are a little more versatile. You can keep them in a traditional presentation like this, with the light on the side, shadow on one side of the face, or you can keep it in front of your face and get that weird, TikTok angel eyes kind of halo effect. I don't personally like that, but I do like that orientation for product shots. If I'm recording a shot like this or like this, it looks super interesting, right? I don't think a normal flat LED light can get some shots like that. A ring light can uniformly light a subject from all around, so it can produce a very interesting looking image. I got this 20-inch one from Simpex. I chose the light and the stand combo, so I'll get both in the package. There it is, that's the light and that's the stand. Oh man, that's heavy. Let's look at the stand first. Damn, that is a really good quality stand. It seems to be mostly made of metal and it's really heavy. I like it. It's a nice, good quality heavy duty stand. It is a big light after all, so you shouldn't have something flimsy. It has 3 layers of height adjustment and these tiny little legs on the bottom, so it'll take less space than a traditional tripod. That's good. I like this. I didn't have a light stand with me anyway, so I'm glad I ordered the combo. And it's surprisingly affordable. It's not that expensive compared to my existing lights, but it's drastically brighter than anything I have. It's a 90-watt light. It's powered by AC, which is better in my opinion, but you can also put 2 of those Sony batteries on the side. Batteries are not included in the package, and I'm not really gonna, buy any battery anytime soon. My setup is mostly stationary, so an AC adapter works just fine. Anyway, let's plug it in and see how it lights up. So this is a bi-colored light, so it has 2 dials without any naming on them. One is for the yellow LEDs and one is for white. I'm not sure which is which. We'll figure it out. And there's also a USB out port, so you can, I guess, charge your earphones or something in the meantime. And there you have it. The top one is for the yellow light and the bottom one adjusts white light. I'll be using the white light for the most part, and yeah, it's very bright. Let's figure this stand out. I don't know how this is gonna fit on this stand. Oh, I have to take off this top cap. I forgot that. It has a thread on the top as well, so you can fit normal lights on it too, or a camera for that matter, so that's good. It's a multi-purpose stand, but you kind of just fit this light on top of it without really using that thread, and you tighten it around it, and it's surprisingly sturdy. And there it is, side-by-side comparison of my existing ring light, which is just a 10-inch light, and this one is a 20-inch light. My older light looks like a toy in front of it, even though it has powered hundreds of my videos. These dials are pretty smooth, and they gradually change the brightness very well. I like that. I mean, I had good experience with Simpex so far, so I'm not really surprised that this light is functional in a basic sense. Although since this is bi-colored, I'm noticing that you have to turn both of them on to get the max brightness, because it'll have yellow LEDs and white LEDs. And if you look at it from the front, you can kind of see the LED arrangement. Let's take a closer look. I'll bring out my screwdriver. Yeah, that's how they are arranged, alternating columns of white and yellow LEDs. So to get that maximum brightness, you'll have to turn both dials to the full range. I don't really want to do that indoors because even at half brightness it can light up my entire room. I mean, to give you a comparison, I'll lock the camera's exposure on my phone screen. It's like halfway brightness what typically you would use on a daily basis, and with that brightness set, this is the light. It may not look like much, but it's only at 30% right now, and that is maximum brightness. It's actually really bright, and thanks to this white diffuser around it, it's not harsh to look at. And that's a good thing, that's a good design. It's meant to be kept in front of your subject's face, so it should be pleasant and not hurting your eyes. Yeah, that's all good. It's a great light, but why do you need such a bright light? The reason why I said every one of you in the sense someone who's interested in capturing images on their camera should have one of these is because of one situation: outdoor shooting. You might be like, bruh, there is sunlight outdoors, why do you need a light? Well, and you're right, for majority of the cases, 80% of your shots which are lit by the sun, you don't need any other supplementary lights. But for one particular kind of shot which is backlit by the sun, sun behind the subject, it actually looks really good. Like the sun kind of puts these flares on the subject, the outline lights lights up. It looks really nice, but it causes two main problems, especially for tinier sensors like say a phone. First of all, if you try to expose for the person's face, since the sun is behind them, it'll just overexpose the sky and you lose details. If you try to bring the exposure down to expose the sky properly, it looks good, but the face of that person is completely dark or the subject is fully dark. So to maintain that dynamic range, obviously you will have to at this point introduce a light. That's what they do in almost every professional production. They'll sometimes also have a bounce card, something like a reflector to bounce off some sunlight on their face, but they almost always have an external light on the subject's face or on whatever they're shooting, so that the dynamic range is maintained. You can see the sky clearly, the background clearly, and the subject clearly as well. Nothing is overexposed or underexposed. And that's where a bright light like this can come in handy. I mean, the situation I showed you is like the worst case scenario where there is intense afternoon sun. Ideally, you should completely avoid shooting in such situations, but if you have no other choice or you have some time restriction or whatever, then a massive light like this, which can output a lot of brightness, can help you out. Now, honestly, 550 something lumens is not quite enough still. Even though it's crazy, you need more than that in some cases, but this is better than nothing. Like, this is a good middle ground between price and performance. You get good diffusion out of this. You don't have to have separate diffusers with you. Just plug it in and turn it on. That's it. And it distributes light uniformly, so your subject automatically looks pretty good. So for some beginners or non-serious people who want to get started with an easy to use light, this is great. I mean, the reason why I upgraded is because the light that I have is fine for like this talking head shots, but when I'm shooting some unboxing or something, if the light is too far away, I feel like the brightness is not enough. So I just went overkill and I got this. This is too much. It's too big and too bright for my liking right now, but having too much is okay. You can dial down the brightness, but if it's not bright enough, you can't really do anything, right? That's why I got this. 20 inches is still kind of too big. I mean, you can see how ridiculous it looks in my setup. And also I wish the controls were in the front, or at least somewhere I can see and reach them. They're on the back, so this model doesn't come with a remote control like some others do. I wish that was a feature. I didn't think about this when I was buying, but now that I'm here, now I remember like, oh, I need a way to easily control the brightness. It's fine though, it's right here, I can get up and do it, but it would be nice to have. Oh, and this light stand that comes with the light is kind of wobbly, and I don't blame the stand. This light is huge, so be careful, okay? Anyway, that was my quick review of this 20-inch ring light from Simpex, and also to give you an idea of why you might need such a bright light. Outdoor shooting. I'm not saying I'll start shooting outdoors with this giant thing. I mean, everyone will ask me, what am I doing? Instead of feeling the absence of something, it's better to have that in your inventory and not use it. And besides, I am going to use it. I'm already using it as my key light, and it's already enhancing the look in my opinion. Like, I'm getting much more uniform light compared to my smaller ring light. It's completely worth the price in my opinion. It's well worth it if you get the stand and the light together. So I'll leave a link in the description if you're interested. Let me know if you have any other questions, and let me also know if you enjoy this kind of cinematography tips and these kind of videos, which are not about a gadget as such, but a technique in general.